What's up, man? All right, let's see. I got our footage up. Let's get into it. So this was our last day of mount. Let's see, we got Andre back on the mats, rolling with Joe here. We got other Joe and Luke. Let's speed this up a little bit. Here we go. Let's see, Joe shooting in on that single. Not really getting too much there. This is the first round. I don't need to feel like I shouldn't critique anybody too hard with their stand-up as they're just getting warmed up. I think this is, we've got Justin and John over here. I believe that's John. Luke going for his characteristic sacrifice where he grabs your arm. Everything hurts about that, but he doesn't get the lift on Joe. But he manages to get Joe into this kind of clamp guard position here. So Joe's got to look out for either omoplatas or triangle entrances, all sorts of stuff. But he falls back on his own straight ankle, which maybe he hasn't trained with Luke long enough to know that Luke is going to eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then he counters with his own. Looked like an Aoki lock variation there, or just a straight ankle lock with the cross-side grip. So this is, I just want to point this out as not just a good counter, but also a unique grip that not everybody might be familiar with. But notice, so let's watch Luke's grip here. So we're gonna go, right now you can see he's kind of using this, it's a cross-side grip. He's using, typically when you grab a straight ankle, you're gonna grab your opponent's right leg with your left arm, or their left leg with your right arm. But right now he's grabbing Joe's left leg with his left arm. There are reasons you can do this from different positions. Like I like to do a cross-side grip in cross ashi. It puts on a tremendous amount of braking power there. You can see he actually ends up switching here, I believe. Yeah, to just the standard grip. So with, I guess generally for me, what I like to do, and I think Luke varies on this, if I'm in a standard leg entanglement position like this, where I'm kind of straight on with my opponent, just any sort of straight ashi variation, I'm going to use that same side grip where my right arm will attack his left leg. When I'm in a cross ashi position, I'll use the cross side grip where my left arm will attack. It'll reach over and attack his left leg. Maybe if I see that elsewhere on the stream, I'll point that out just for a good counter example. But you see he makes a switch and ends up getting the braking pressure he needs compared to that initial break. Even throwing the reap in right there, feels like he doesn't quite have the power he wants. Joe's trying to hide it, but Luke will take straight ankle pressure for entirely too long because there's nothing left to pop in his leg except his bone. So, and that's not going to break. Joe get on top here. He just went down. He gets his guard. Creates enough room. Andre lets him up. Okay. Let's see what he does. Does Andre sit here? Okay, Andre pulls. Tries to pull to an open guard. Maybe like a dummy sweep attempt. But he was moving backwards, so it's gonna be hard to get your opponent to fall backwards from that if you're moving backwards yourself. Straight ankle locked on my left 4 times. Bro, been there, man. Yeah. Hopefully nothing popped. Yeah, it's it sucks. I pretty much honestly, like, there are a few guys in here, blue belts, that like will get my leg. Maybe a few of them now purple belts, but they'll get my ankle, and I don't mess around anymore. I just tap super early because they just put everything into it. Not even to be mean, but they're just good and they know what they got and they want to tap me. So I don't give them the satisfaction of hurting me. They could just have the tap. So we got our own another leg lock shootout here. Andre gets it. Okay. It's interesting. So Joe was on this one pretty deep. He was good here. Just initial things I'm seeing. And Miko, if you want to go on a revenge tour, take some notes here. So one thing I always like to point out, and maybe some professional grappling viewers might argue with me on this, given Nicky Ryan's tap on JT Torres this past Friday. But this chin to hand spacing, I harp on endlessly with people. This is where I think there's an energy leak, right? You start to lose the strength of your back going into the submission when your chin comes away from your hands. When you keep everything nice and tight, and as you straighten your back out, you keep your hands close to your chin. That's where you're going to get a lot more braking pressure on this. So Joe's a little straightened out here. He doesn't have like the ideal grip. His leg is also okay. I see the real problem now. He also doesn't have really good control of that leg. He's in this like what is it? Craig Jones did something like this against Boogie from 10th Planet, but it was a straight leg variation where he had his leg coming from the inside out, if I'm remembering it correctly. But I think he had that pressure, this is going to be confusing, so maybe I won't go too deep into it. You can see Joe doesn't have Andre's leg here. Joe has the inside position, but this leg needs to be outside the leg. So that's probably why Joe's not getting enough braking pressure on this, not just the hand thing. But now you see Andre actually has the ideal leg position. He's more of the attacker here. Joe's kind of countering. And then I'll give the same tips to Andre here. Like head is going back. Not terrible. Everybody, I feel like that's a good white belt thing to teach people. Like, look back over your shoulder. I don't necessarily say that much anymore, just because how much I emphasize the head and hand connection. So Joe wasn't on the best leg locking position there. That was why he lost it. Of course, I didn't see that until I say like 50 things. One of the guys that got me on a deep heel hook tap, so I wouldn't. That was too kind of you. You tapped so that his knee wouldn't explode. That sounds like you're either saying you were doing him a favor, but you could have killed him, or you're like, nah, he really got me. I don't know what belt you are, Miko, but when the most fun thing to do is when you're really like, somebody has you dead to rights, they're a lower belt than you, and then you stop them and you go, you're not doing it right. You got to do it like this, and then you just take away the entire opportunity they had. No, that's a good training partner, man. You, that is. I'm kind of the same. Like I will put when I get heel hooks these days, depending on who I'm with. If I'm with guy on the right, who's not here right now, then I'll try to snap his knee into a million pieces. But I trust that he'll tap when he needs to. But if I'm with if I'm with like Andre here, who's white belt, still new, it's like if I get him there, I'm gonna let him kind of work out of it and figure out the dangers of the position. I'm a white with about 9 months. Oh, dude, shatter that guy's knee, break it, just break it, and then you'll get the reputation of the spazzy white belt. But who cares? You broke a blue belt's knee, and then you get to take his belt. That's how it works. I'm just kidding. Don't take any of that seriously. That's interesting though that you're, as a white belt, you're doing heel hooks in your gym. I'm curious, like, you can do that at our school too, but I know some schools are stringent about that, where they don't let white belts do any twisting leg locks or any leg locks at all. So that's cool. I'm glad your gym, I guess if you show a level of restraint like you have, then you should be allowed to do it. That's smart. I think that's really smart, especially if your students have any intentions of competing. Like, even if they can't do heel hooks for a while, you know, up until blue belt or purple belt, by the time they get there, they're not going to have to like learn, you know, the things to be worried about and the finishing mechanics. They've been practicing it for, you know, 3 or 4 years by that point. So Luke trying to take down this specimen of a man, Ben. See that? Not having to reach too far. Goes for the over tie. Hooks behind the leg. Yeah, I think Ben just gets caught being a little too still here. He hasn't cleared the grips early enough. So Luke is slowly making some forward progress here. You know, now at this point, he can't once Luke gets that leg behind him, it's going to be, you know, Ben can't step it back. He's already kind of put himself in a bad spot. Looks pretty static with his feet heavily weighted up right now. And Luke kindly taking him away from the wall. I like Ben's attempt to break the grip here. Luke's got a pretty damn strong grip, so this is tough. That's a tough one to get out of. I mean, I don't really have many tips to say. Like, he could Granby roll or something from standing. Another option you'll see wrestlers do a lot is, you know, not just attacking the grip here, but feet will come out a little bit further. Like, Ben could move his feet forward and push his backward into Luke's chest, and, you know, base out. That puts some strain on the grip, which might make the grip a little bit easier to break. In jiu-jitsu, you have to worry about, you know, a quick transition to a rear naked strangle if you're doing that. So not always the best thing, but it does open up opportunities to escape. If you get caught in a standing rear naked strangle, though, you might be a white belt. So brown belt to chances. The open mats in Paris. Damn. That's pretty rad. That's a hell of a day. I take it that was an IBJJF open. He sounds like one. Who is Joe training with? Curious if this is a new guy. I don't know. I don't know if anybody in the chat was there that day. Might be a new guy. Where were we? We'll go here. That's impressive. I don't know. I haven't done a gi competition in a very long time, which I'm happy about, and probably will never do again. But new guy that came with Ben. Oh, okay. What's up, Joe? How you doing, bud? You had a nice. You shut down John's Uchimata there. Almost countered him too. Sorry, I'm just looking at this Uchi attempt. Actually, it's your Uchimata. Okay. It looked like John initiated that movement. Maybe I... Yeah, okay, never mind. I misread that. Joe, for you, something, you know, a good follow-up move from this. So you get John down on the mat here. You might have a little trouble with this just because of like the depth of the whizzer. But right now John's head is lower than yours. This is the perfect time to come around quickly. You'll have to kind of like pull your underhook out a little bit, not all the way, but you come around to the front, lock up a front headlock, right? So Uchimata's rad when you hit it. It looks super cool. When you don't hit it, you usually lowered your opponent enough to get a front headlock. And for you, especially being taller, like an Uchimata to a front headlock I could see that being your like go-to plan A stand-up game. So play around with that. Like throw the Uchimata with every intention of hitting it, but just be ready to quickly pivot back to the front and hit the front headlock. And then, you know, you can snap down, you can work your darces, all that stuff. That would be a really, really good game for you, I think. Ben coming with the pressure. It was a nice sweep attempt by Luke. I don't think he had the momentum there to take it all the way through. Now Ben. Oh, he doesn't have anything. I thought he had a knee bar there. And Joe, a nice, simple. I saw that little snap down. Okay, John goes for what is it called? Just that arm throw. Damn, dog. Seonagi, that's the arm throw. Joe, this looks awesome. Oh, God. All right. Let's go back for a second. So, this is an anaconda. By the looks of it, you tuck John's arm in. Okay, yeah. Tuck his arm in, hit the roll. Man, your arms look good here. Okay, John's blocking you so that you can't work your way to mount. And thereby like crunch his chin in towards his chest. I'm trying to put myself in your position here, because that is like, it looks like you had the right idea. Like you were trying to walk your way towards mount. I don't know. I kind of feel like you maybe gave up on this position a little too soon from that hand block, because that was really solid, man. Yeah, John's biding his time to get his elbow down. Like, I would try to do a little bit more pummeling with your legs. Yes, you can. Problem is, like, he's keeping his legs as far away from you as possible. That's why this isn't working. Like, this hand is what's stopping all that, and then he's straightening his body out to get his legs away from you. Yeah, hooking your legs together would be great. But you can also, you can finish this from here. What I would do in this case, you know, if you can't like crunch up or anything, and you're typically going to see that more with the darce anyway, especially like crunching up, entangling your legs or moving to mount like I like to do. From Anaconda, you can finish that right from your back, but you're both going to be on your back. So you see how John's on his back and you're on your side right now. I would encourage you to roll to your back. So it's almost like you guys are in it's almost like if he was in turtle and you were like in a front headlock, but you guys just rolled over and went right to your back. So your feet are as far away from his feet as possible. From there, all you really need to worry about is him keeping his arm up here. If he pulls it down here, he opens up that space on his neck and gets safe. If you can keep it up here, you can get the strangle without having to do too much work. The way you do it is you use your legs, almost like you're thinking about doing a back roll. You would use your legs, one of them in particular, to capture his arm and keep it from coming down to here, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll happily show you tomorrow if you're at class or whenever this week. Please just remind me. But you can get comfortable with finishing that Anaconda from your back without having to entangle your legs at all. That looked great though, man. I think Anacondas and darces, I've probably said it to you already in person. I think those are going to be a really, really big move for you. Please remind me. We'll definitely go over it. Either me or Peters. Talk to Danny too. Um, he's great at those. That's like his bread and butter move. You're keeping up the attack though, man. I would think about your leg position when you're on the back, right? You have everything you need to do body triangles. There, you're starting to work one now. A few seconds ago, you kind of had your legs crossed up in between his legs, which is a bit of a danger zone. But you know, when you get there, you know you're in a good spot here. Focus on your lower body connection, then focus on your hand fight. Then you can focus on the finish. Looks like that's, yeah, Joe's taking our guests through the same sort of motions. All right, so Luke has made his way to top half guard here. Oh, Ben gets an easy little sweep. But Luke is just as strong in bottom half as he is at top half, so he's not the least bit concerned, I'm sure. Luke pummeling to a Rimiashi position, gets a straight ankle. Let's look at that briefly. You see how Luke pummels that leg in and through. He doesn't let go of that ankle the whole time. Then once he gets his leg in position, he keeps Ben on his butt, which is normally pretty essential for finishing leg locks. If you can break your opponent down to their butt, it immobilizes them considerably, especially if you have their leg totally under your control. It's going to be hard for them to get up. And you can break it. Joe let himself into a very easy cross ashi here. Maybe we'll see Luke utilize that cross leg grip if he can sit Joe down. John working some wrestling here as well. Let's see, we got Andre down. So Andre goes down to a knee. John picks up a single. That's the power of using your head and neck as another limb. Notice no big movements here from John. He's not trying to pick up Andre. He's not trying to like do any major finishes. He's on his knees at this point. Like he can't even run the pipe or do anything. All he does, he uses his head well placed against the stomach, captures the leg, and just pushes through and pulls the leg through. It's enough to get Andre to his butt. He's not out of the woods yet. I mean, John still has some work to do, but he's broken down his opponent to his butt. That would score points in many cases, and he didn't have to do too much energy doing it, or use too much energy doing it. Luke is in his happy place right now, fighting a leg lock battle, and he gets the cross ashi eventually, or the inside heel hook from cross ashi. Again, as soon as Joe is immobilized, crack down to his butt, can't get up at all. Heel totally caught. Looks like Joe's looking for a Darce. Didn't have the angle for it. And then I guess that's Ben and his buddy training. All right, Luke working his way towards a body lock pass now. He's got to get the hands locked behind Joe, but Joe doesn't allow him to do that. It's a tough spot when your opponent is already flattened to their back and you don't have the grip set up behind their lower back. But here Luke's making a change, working to a looser style of passing. And there he gets it. You can see here he's looking to get a body lock going. Joe creates space with that shoulder frame. But now Luke keeps control of the legs. He's got to get a leg up inside the middle to split Joe's legs, which he does here in a second. Hand to the hip, little kick back, knee right up the middle. Notice how he prioritizes that knee-elbow connection. He's not just like knee stapling here or something. He makes that connection so that Joe can't get this leg back in. So he's already taken the inside position and can start to work to get past the other leg. He turns Joe to his weak side now, as many people like to say, putting him on their weak side. Now he's just got to like basically kick out and around or horse kick back from this hook. Keep Joe's knees pointing away from him. And there it is. Very, very simple passing concepts there. Joe immediately sneaking that bottom knee in when he can, though. It's good re-guarding. Looks like he's trying to pull into the legs now. See, Andre kind of had John in a similar predicament, pointing John's knees in one direction. He should be looking to pass in that direction, but John's able to get his hips back underneath Andre and get back to safety. Same pass again from Luke. This time, I believe, on the other side. Gets the knees pointed away, steps around, looking for... Oh. Briefly was almost in a good Kimura position. Swam around to the back. Joe trying to get his guard back now. All right, so got to be super careful here. I know I preach about the shoulder push as an opportunity to get a really cheap sweep. It's hard to see, but Joe has... catch like one frame with it. Joe's got his hand right here. You can kind of see it popping out. It's like his fingertips popping out of Luke's armpit. And he's trying to hit the shoulder push to get Luke off balance. You know, maybe relieve some of the pressure of the knee on belly, get him off balance, get a sweep. I do not advise doing this in knee on belly. All Luke has to do, like Luke could commit to the fall here. Luke's going in the direction he's being pushed. If he takes this post hand away and instead uses it to grab that arm that's pushing at the shoulder and swings this leg over the head, he's got the makings of an arm bar. It's not a sure thing yet because it's kind of in transition. But it's a little too dangerous for my liking as a move. Do the shoulder push when you're dealing with side control, and do it when their weight is more over your hips than your shoulders. That's where I find it to be most effective. This is a little too risky. I mean, Joe's exposed his back now. He's isolated his own arm, and Luke's going to take full advantage of that. Joe kind of lucked out here. Luke didn't get to a good strangling position for the back. Not that stops Luke from doing it anyway, of course. Hits him with a short choke here. Maybe a bit of a face crank on that, but hey, Cole. It's like Ben putting his boy through the paces. Hopefully showing him all the reasons why he should sign up. Mitchell over here on he's got an armbar on Ben. Oh, right at the bell. Where you at? I don't know, dude. This is Saturday footage. You tell me where you were at. I wasn't there either. Looks like a lot of other people weren't. And aren't tonight. I think everybody's doing Mommy's Day stuff. Although it's 8:30. I mean, Mother's Day ended like hours ago. It's a brunch holiday. Whatever, dude. Are you gonna train tomorrow, or are you gonna freak out about a little twitchy muscle and then do nothing? Justin with a head outside single. Joe taking advantage. Great counter, Joe. I also really appreciate that you went to the side opposite of Justin's head and you didn't crash Justin's head into the mat. I'm sure he would have taken it like a champ, but safe rolling practices are the way to go. What are you going to do, Cole? Mitchell trying to get Luke into an outside ashi. Giving up his own leg in the process. What's up, Joe? Don't worry, you missed getting beat up by Luke. We just passed that round, so you don't have to relive it. Damn, John doing so much better than I was with Ben in escaping. Looks like they're just flowing. You missed it, but everyone saw it. That's okay. Actually, I'm going to go back for you, Joe. I just want to point this out in case you don't go back. Because I harped on this for a second. This knee on belly position here, you're going for a shoulder push on Luke. Long story short, I only want to see you trying to use that move when someone is in side control and their weight is over your hips. I would not advise doing it in knee on belly because I think the risk for an armbar is too great, and the back exposure, failing the armbar if they don't get to it, is very high. Case in point. I did say you did a good job here hiding your back. You didn't let him get to a full, like, dangerous strangle position. But then he remembered he was a black belt and he doesn't care. And he short chokes you there. So, yeah, shoulder push only from side control. Not knee on belly. Please. Forever and ever. even in mount, I think it's a little too dangerous too. If someone's nimble enough and they're not like fully committed to the mount, I think it's still a dangerous spot to try to do that move. I only like to see it in side control. Now maybe, no, never mind. I'm not going to speculate. Luke working a rear triangle on Mitchell here. But Mitchell keeping his legs in the game, which is a difficult thing to do, but a good strategy. Luke's going to switch to an arm attack here in a second. Oh, Mitchell has both arms in, so he's not in a full triangle panic mode. So for Tall Joe, let's see. You're doing good here. I mean, like, Justin's pretty screwed. Okay, looks like he gave you enough of a hand fight. Because you've been on the back for a while now. Oh, you even had a belly down. So, I commended you for your safe rolling practices a second ago with like not taking Justin over on his head when he had that head outside single. When you're on someone's back and the game is just not working for you, whether you're using like straight jacket method approach, whether or not you even know what that is, like, you know, if your hand fight game isn't working, it's good to have a plan B, maybe a plan C. You may have heard like Mike and I talking about it on stream where, you know, there's Luke's style of working to the strangle, and there's, you know, the stuff I do, which is like, you know, Danaher, straight jacket method stuff. I like to kind of prioritize. I prioritize that because I like the hand fight and kind of working through the puzzle. Luke likes to get the finish fast and with violence, and it works well for him. So when that hand fight isn't working, you know, Luke's style is pummeling over the face, back and forth until they have to open up their neck a bit, you know, because you're turning their head this way and that way, and they're defending, and you could sneak in a strangle. Another method is using your wrist under the nose kind of as a lever to lift them up. You'll see Gordon Ryan doing that a lot. That's his preferred method, or at least it has been in the past. So there are a few different things you can do to open that neck up. Maybe start to, you know, pick which one you want. Again, be nice to your training partner, but like do it on people who are cool with it. And you could start kind of bugging the face, bugging the nose a bit, and start opening up the neck a bit better. Just to shoot a family? Somebody call the cops. Or be cool and go to the truck. Or that. He's converted Cooper to what I refuse to call the truck, but we'll call the crossbody ride. Or I guess after the crossbody ride to that, whatever, call it truck position. I don't know what else to call it. Could not win the hand fight and not sure what else to try. So yeah. Well, again, write that down as another thing to talk about. I'll give you a few other options as well. And they are a little bit more aggressive. Perfectly legal. You're not gouging eyes or anything. But you're using cross-facing pressure. You're using pressure on the nose, things like that. Just makes it uncomfortable, gets a reaction, and you exploit the reaction. Damn, Joe looking fancy here. I'll look at that one more time. I'm not sure. I mean, John's staying moving here. It looks like he's trying to work A single, gets himself almost in a crucifix position. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for hanging out, bro. Go enjoy Mother's Day and remind me of all the stuff to go over with you. I'll be happy to do it. Oh, Joe. Joseph. So close to an awesome cross ashi here. This foot got in your way. You kept your shoelaces on the outside. Right here, if that foot snuck in and came totally inside the position and you were able to get your hips above John's knee here, you would have been in a really, really nice cross ashi. You're just like inches away from a very powerful position. All right, Luke with a successful double underpass on Andre, which I think a few weeks ago we were lamenting how he was shutting this down on everybody. So let's look at what Luke does here. So first he gets to the setup, and I don't think that he thinks it's good enough to really execute just yet, right? Andre's knees are off the shoulders, so that's not going to work. So you see Luke starting to drive forward. He doesn't totally get it up there, but he catches Andre at a point where he slips the arm. So now he's not dealing with an arm on the hip or an arm up in the armpit. That post arm is in front of him. It's probably why he's able to finish this. But as he was pressing forward, I think to improve his leg position, or the position of Andre's legs on his body, he was able to slip that hand by and gets through. There may have been a little lapse in judgment from Andre as far as like hand placement goes. But I mean, right here, this is just like he blades his body. Luke blades his body and is able to bypass that frame entirely, which is really, again, fundamental to like a lot of passing in general. Oh, great shot from John. Great reshot. So Joe working shoulder push. Good. Excellent. Love it. This is exactly when I want to see it. John staying nice and base though. And then that's the thing of beauty. John's smiling about that one. Reason I love this so much. It's hard to teach this to somebody who hasn't wrestled before, but the best time to shoot is right after a shot. And now we're not looking at the exact same situation there. I was actually pop my hips up. Saw it was on his baddie. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, regarding the cross eye. Okay, fair. That's good. Everybody's so nice at our school, aren't they? Yeah. So in any case, best time to shoot a shot is after your opponent shoots, right? That's called a reshot. That's when you hear us talking about that. I shoot a single, it sucks. I go to stand up, and then you shoot on me, and you get it. That's a reshot. John's kind of doing something similar here. Joe starts to get the sweep. John isn't swept though. He manages to keep his balance and his base. As Joe's getting up, John is immediately attacking. There is no setup here. John just goes. And Joe has stood up anticipating maybe a reset here or something. And by the time he stands up, John's already in on that leg. That was really nice, really quick. That's something that, people with a wrestling background do so well. Which should mean if you don't do it or you don't do it well, that you just got to drill it and you could get as good. Mitchell's got his arm up a little too high. I think Ben's going to take advantage of this. He's got to be careful here. Yeah, Mitchell's got his arm caught. Okay, there we go. Down to a frame on the hips. When did Mitchell get so damn squirrely? I don't think I've ever seen him do that. You can't teach this. Just good instinct. That's funny. In fact, I don't think I would ever personally teach this, but reason why this is working is Ben is riding really high on this mount, staying low. So that gives Mitchell's hips all the mobility they need to pull this off. What's really, really nice about this is he doesn't just go straight back and hook his legs in. He sneaks out to his side, and that's what allows the leg attack here. That was clever, Mitchell. I do, however, have to criticize the leg placement in the end. So you're going for a straight ankle. This isn't impossible to hit, but you don't have the legs separated. You don't have one isolated, right? You've got both of his legs in the middle of your legs, so it's going to be difficult to finish this in the traditional way. But I would say you're in a good spot to start working a pass or another leg entrance. This is akin to when somebody puts you down from doing a standing guard break, right? Very, very similar position. So if you do this, if you think about the same thing, either pushing the legs up and off to a side and passing, or splitting the legs, entering into cross ashi, or rimi ashi, you have all those options too. So maybe that move is worth executing if you can. Oh. And Danny just tried the move over there on Justin. Justin was able to shut it down. I've talked a lot about how Danny does this move, and here he does it the old school traditional way with the hamstrings. Normally Danny will unlock his legs, pull his knees to his chest, and push you with his feet on your hips, not with his hamstrings. That takes away the counter I just talked about. But here he does it the old school way. And Justin just about gets safe. They're good shin control, preventing the triangle, but Danny gets that front headlock and gets the sweep. Looks like Joe's giving John a big hug, maybe looking for the bottom side smother. Okay, this is good. Got the bad knee though, of course, so you're gonna be kind, aren't you? I did like that though, Joe. That was a nice setup. So Mitchell's got to get that knee on the ground, sliding underneath Ben's shin for the elbow escape to work. He's kind of stepping over it instead, which isn't going to help him. Ben moving up to attack the armbar now. We'll see if we get an exhibition of Mitchell's flexiness. Which is different from flexibility, if you're wondering. Oh, Luke almost had a triangle. Mitchell going for it again. And again, he's to it. Man, I kind of want to pull Mitchell aside and work with him on that. Oh, Ben with the counter. Ben saw the clock, said, enough of that. Second time, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gonna break your ankle. Looks like that one set off quick. That was a great roll from Mitchell and Ben. Danny and our guest. Joe joining the fray. Justin and Luke. Luke trying to work to deep half, settling for a single leg. Head on the inside. Switching to the double here. Justin sitting. Setting up his close guard. Ooh, big snap down from Joe. Gets Ben right down to the mat. Ben, I'd like to see you starting to turn back towards Joe to try to get your guard in. I don't think Joe has like any grip that would prevent you from doing that, like a gift wrap or something. Joe making his way to mount. Working to the high mount now. Sucks. Can't really see if Joe is attacking an arm or what he's doing here. Doesn't seem to be. Maybe working a bit of a smother, or at least just trying to control the arms. Justin got free somehow. Oh, I think he tapped. That's probably how. Yeah. Let's look over here. Luke is disengaged almost completely, and Justin's afraid to turn towards him. All right. I love this. This is a great example of not the best knee on belly strategy. I've talked about this a little bit on the stream before. So here's the issue that you run into with knee on belly. You get a panic response a lot of times. So from Luke's point of view, this is great. The panic response is putting the hand on the knee. You think, this person's connection to me is through their knee on my stomach, my diaphragm, my sternum, whatever the case is. I have to get that knee off. You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable here, even if for a split second. You don't want to put your hand on the knee, because what that does is it opens up a nice big hole right here for your opponent to slip in an underhook, or in this case, a darce. Luke throws that arm in with the quickness, gets it all the way around Justin's neck, gets the shoulder right against the neck. This is super deep from the get-go. Luke knows he has this. Luke is seconds away from getting the tap, and he knows it. Locks up a nice darce. Luke is chest down, so he's, knees down. He's in a strong position. He could walk to mount if he wants. He could fall to his side, which I think that's how Luke likes to finish these typically. He'll fall to the side and entangle the legs. Justin is he made too many mistakes too long ago. What kind of coach would I be to just point out all the bad things you did without giving you a remedy? Instead of putting your hand to the knee and giving this opportunity, use your, Justin, for you in this case, and for anybody watching, use your right hand. So not the one that's typically closest to the knee, or what I'll call the top hand in this case, because we often turn to our side. Use that bottom hand to reach down, grab the ankle. I often grab it palm up. I grab the ankle, I push it between my legs, and I capture the ankle. When I capture the ankle, I've turned to my side. The knee typically slips off of me, and then I've relieved the pressure of the knee on belly. I'm not putting my hand to the knee to, leave a giant hole for them to exploit. And I could either start working to come up on singles, or maybe re-guard if I need to. There's still a threat of a darce coming up on that single. Anyone who's rolled with Danny knows that. But it's a much safer way to relieve the pressure of the knee on belly and get out of that pin safely. I don't think we give Luke enough credit for, like, I don't think of Luke as a long arm person, you know. Like we look at Danny, we look at Joe, who else? Austin, right? Cooper. Like we think of those guys as like long limbed and like, oh, arm triangles and darces and anacondas are gonna work for them. Luke's got go-go gadget arms that like all of a sudden they're wrapped around your neck twice, and you forget that he's just as dangerous with those as those other guys are, if not more so. Joe's got himself to a triangle with an armbar threat here. Looks like got the triangle. Let's see, I missed this setup. So this was all from that same setup. I'm like, I don't know what kind of dog he'd compare me to. I can't wait for my asshole students to give me ideas, but I'm short and short-limbed. I don't even have the long torso benefit. So Joe gets himself to this kind of side-on triangle. It's good. I like it. Yeah, and then right here, I think he works the triangle so well. He doesn't really need the armbar. Ben taps early on that one before going out. I'll take a mini Aussie Doodle. Is a long torso a benefit? Look, every body type has its pros and cons. 100%. I fully believe that. I think let's explore what a long torso could give you. I think maybe in the stand-up game, I'd say you might benefit in being able to keep your hips back while still being engaged with your opponent, and being able to reach them just because like your hips are back a little bit safer, but you're closer to them up top. I think that could work. Maybe if you can get your hips low enough and you are mean enough, I think you could suplex people really good. I'm reaching here. I'm not totally sure about that, but it makes sense in my own head. Person training was I think it's Ben's friend. I'm not familiar. I haven't met him, so I don't know his name. Short limbs good for back attacks. High hook still attacking the neck. Yeah. I mean, I would say short limbs, I don't confer any sort of advantage to them typically, but they are disadvantageous for darces, and I say that with the utmost confidence and experience. But it's not like there are things you do. Yeah, totally hard. I can only lock a body triangle on certain people at the school, but they're good alternatives for that anyway. Like locking someone with short legs. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. Crowdsource these pros and cons. Darces for me are difficult, but you know, like if I'm going against a broad shouldered guy, I'm not even going to attempt him. But you know, your average Joe, I just have to do things very well if I'm going to darce. I've got to dive my arm through. I got to put my ear to their back. I have to like give myself every single inch of reach that I can, and I could get a darce. I mean, it would be awesome to be as big as you, Cole, if it was like all muscle, instead of you know other tissue. So Mitchell's got Joe's head under control here, but I don't think he was gonna have enough torque to get Joe swept over. Joe's being super annoying here, driving the head into the body. I know how that feels. That was a good comeback. I'm trying to think of what else a long torso how that would benefit you. I don't know. I don't think it would be a disadvantage. Joe working to the side triangle now. Yoko Senkaku. I feel like I haven't said that one in a while. Mitchell being annoying, trying to disrupt. It's the same thing where I'm from. Speaking of guillotines, got John on one right now. Yeah, it looks like Mitchell did enough there to shut down the side triangle. What I love about this position, though, and I really like what you did there, Joe. So you don't have the triangle fully locked, but you used the control over the shoulders to go back to a very threatening position with that dorsal Kimura. John not getting the guillotine here. Oh, looks super dangerous. Hits the throw with it. Man, so that's the second time Justin has been taken over with that move tonight. Okay, John, that time that came from John jumping for the front headlock, so I won't blame Justin for that. We did good enough. I guess he disrupted John's grip enough to prevent the strangle, so John looks to put him to his back and maybe move on from there, giving up the submission but improving his position. Okay, makes his way to Turtle. Joe got the Kimura. Mitchell almost could have followed that through into an attacking leg position. Man, Mitchell has, I feel like I've said this before, he's got the makings of a good leg lock game. There are things he needs to clean up in isolating these legs. Like, he's so often wrapping both legs up. Like, he's got two legs in between his instead of just one. Like, not really truly isolating them. Oh, Justin's in a bad spot here. I wonder if John knows he has a legs Kimura opportunity. Looks like he had something else going on. Let's see how we got here. I think I know what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. John still initiating this. So Justin not totally making like bad mistakes here. But I don't know. I'm going to give him 50% responsibility for this. So as John steps over, he's going to capture Justin's arm here, and one of two things is going to happen. One is what we see happen, or two, he's going to work to try to armbar him with his legs, like where if he can get his ankles kind of crossed underneath Justin's wrist and get that arm extended, you can put on armbar pressure with the legs. The way you get out of that is really easy. You just turn your hand. Kind of like when someone tries to hit a straight arm, like from on top of you, you maybe like point your thumb in a different direction, but it just gives them a Kimura or an Americana. Here, you would do the same thing, turn your hand, you get out of it, but then you end up right where John puts him anyway, which is in this position with the arm kind of bent and hidden behind the leg. This is what I love. When someone gets here, like they try to reach through on my leg or something and they give me this, or I can force it. This is where you can get a rolling, like a legs Kimura, which is unstoppable and like, shouldn't say unstoppable. I hate when people say that. It's a very dangerous move that you want to do it slowly, but like you could see if John forward rolls right this direction, his leg is going to take that arm out and it will put Justin into a Kimura, and he'll finish it with his legs and his hips rather than his arms. It's a much more powerful finish. But I think John goes for, I don't know what you'd call this. I mean, it's a strangle. It's a rear strangle variation, I think. Unless it's just shoulder pressure. I can't really see it. It's like here he gets the finish. That might just be like Justin's face right now is looking in this direction. That might be some bad neck pressure. Yeah, his neck looks pretty cranked up there. Don't say that, Cole. I said I don't like when people say that. Yeah, that looked really uncomfortable on Justin's neck. That's probably why he tapped. Meanwhile, Joe just putting the slow cooker on Mitchell here. Riding to mount. Justin looks a little nervous pulling the trigger on those singles. Doubles, but John rolls with it. And now John's almost into a cross ashi if he wanted it. That was a fun looking match. All right, John and Luke. Oh, Luke gets the arm across the body. John quickly pulls that back, knowing the danger he's in. Luke going to the triangle again, seeing more of these moves that Luke is like dusting off that he hasn't used in a while, making it look easy. Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there, I'd say, from John, just swimming that arm and not immediately trying to cut around to the side. This is dangerous because his other arm is trapped inside. But if he hit this and then immediately try to swing around this way, then he'd work a pass and would probably be fine. But kind of hangs out there a little too long. Luke has 2-on-1, locks up that trap position, right? Gets his ankles crossed, locks up his triangle now, cuts his angle. Pretty fundamental triangle there. Ooh, rolls through into cross ashi. That was slick. Can't really see the full leg entanglement here. It looks like, so John, yeah, so John never fully takes Luke's left leg down. Let me see if we get a good frame here. If you just showed me this frame, I would say John was doing great on defense. He's got 2-on-1 on this leg. What I want to see him do is shove that leg down to the ground, but he's not doing that here. He kind of lets it hang, right? Maybe he's thinking counter heel hook or something. It looks like maybe I think that's what he was thinking there. But Luke is disrupting his base with that bottom leg hooked behind the knee. So you see John start to lose his balance here as he steps up. He's got to plant his hands. And then now with that leg in place, Luke can hit an inversion, and then that's how he ends up in cross ashi. That was really nice. John slips the knee almost. He's not out of the woods yet. Luke is keeping him off balance, making it very difficult for him to work. Now he's safe. That was a great exchange. John looking for the grip break here. Moves to a shoulder senkaku position. This is something I definitely want to maybe get a bit more familiar with. So here, I would advise going to the 3/4 armbar, where this leg, John's left leg, heel goes into the neck, right leg crosses over top of it, and you get to work on the grip breaking from there. The triangle that he sets up instead, I only ever use this when I'm forced to this position, because for whatever reason my opponent has manipulated my legs into such a way where like they swing their legs down and they start to sit me back, and I need to hang my weight on them to get them down. That's the only time I've ever really played around with it. So I don't have any good, I don't have a good suggestion here as far as like digging yourself out of this position, as Luke has like made his way to his knees. I think the best advice I could give is just don't use that position unless you're forced to do it. But I need to think a bit more about that. But either way, the 3/4 armbar is going to prevent a lot of that defense that Luke just exercised there. So you could shut it down altogether. Luke passing real heavy now, running past that knee. John exposing the back, Luke taking it. We might be able to see Luke's style of, I guess not. Maybe. We'll see if Luke can show his style of exposing the neck. And of course, he does something entirely different. Like it's the arm trap, and then moves to, looked like he moved to just like an attack on the shoulder there. Joe made his way to Justin's back. Let's see how he got there. Oh, damn, Justin putting up a fight. Looks like Justin taps for whatever reason. Oh, you've been there for a minute now, huh? See a trip attempt? No. Justin single, head inside this time, but just doesn't drive through Joe enough to get Joe off balance. Now Joe's gonna get to work taking the back from that standing position. Move ahead about a minute or so. We see that power half Nelson breaking Justin down from the turtle. Now we see the hand fight battle. Justin's putting up a good fight here. Joe also not in the ideal leg configuration. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna sit here and talk like it's easy, but with this hook in behind, like this crab hook in, it's easier for Justin to like shift his hips out this way, which is what I would be yelling at him to do right now if I was on the mat. Yes, he is dealing with the strangle. He's got the two arms in there, trying to protect it. This is a hard spot to deal with, because like pulling down on a fully locked choke isn't always going to be effective. It might work. It typically, in my experience, it doesn't. Instead, if you can, I don't even know why I'm saying it, because he probably can't right now, but like attacking this arm that's actually behind the head, if you can manage to reach up and peel that arm off and back into the front, you could start to unwrap that strangle a bit more effectively. It's so much easier said than done, but that would be a place to start. I mean, we're talking, this was a late stage escape anyway that Justin was having to work. Those are the things you want to think about there. Joe, I am kind of surprised you got that with, like, I don't be lazy. Try to get that hook in if you can. Try to get both hooks in, or your body triangle, or your post rear mount, or whatever. Don't get too casual with like using a high ball ride or whatever. Always go for the best configuration you can. Oh, Justin had he had the right idea. He just lost his balance there, trying to keep Joe from encircling his legs with that leg entanglement. We'll make it great, okay? Do greater. Be greater. Get good. And also remind me of class, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Good news is there, you know, it's little details. It's nothing super complicated, but like I always say, knowing the why, not just the how, kind of gives you a more clear picture. Interesting stuff going on here with John and Luke. So maybe John trying to take a page out of some 10th Planet stuff, or catch wrestling even. He's got this hook in, and he says, I don't care about the upper body. I'm going to try to calf slice you or something. Falls back for it. I don't think I've seen anybody really attempt that one on Luke. Again, Luke probably willing to eat some of the pain there. Yeah, that's the dangerous thing about calf slices. So let's look at this again. Regardless of how you get to a calf slicer, or yeah, that really only applies there, not really the banana split. When you go to, so this is Luke's leg right now. It's hard for me to tell, but I need to say that for myself just because their pasty skin is all blending together. But when you go to pull this leg, so as John's hand goes up to pull this leg, if this hand is between, or let's say if this hand passes the hamstring of Luke's free leg, so Luke's right leg in this case, if it goes like in front of the hamstring there, John can be armbarred, right? Which we see right there. The hand is passed in front of the hamstring. Luke reaches up for the armbar. I think if Luke had this leg over John's face, he could finish that armbar. If John reaches in front of the quad instead, so he goes, he reaches over the quad rather than in front of the hamstring, goes around, he could still reach that leg and then pull in for the calf slicer. But the armbar threat is no longer there because his shoulder is here instead of here, right? I hope that makes sense. Again, more than willing to show you guys that at class. I'll happily armbar you. But it's an important detail, especially if you like James, if you like playing around with this position. Just something I want you to be really, really mindful of. There's no worse feeling than feeling like you're seconds away from like a badass sub that you never get to do, and then you get submitted from a silly mistake that's entirely preventable. We got just Joe and Justin finishing out the rounds position. All right, so we got Ben and his buddy here. Let's see if we get anybody else on the mat. I don't want to disrespect these two, but I'm sure Ben's just giving them a little free lesson here. Joe and Justin back at it like they never stopped. I don't know where the hell this energy comes from. You guys are moving too fast for me to comment on anything. As you fight through this position. Let's do it anyway. Justin works close guard. Joe stands. Good standing guard break. Nice upright posture. Love it. I'm happy. Justin says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Gets the double ankle. And beats Joe here, kind of. he gets his hips up, so Joe can't bear trap his legs, squeezing those knees together, preventing Justin from coming forward. But Joe, you also you like shrimp your butt away here. That kind of gives Justin, I see what you're doing. I see what you're attempting here. I don't know if I'm happy with that though. See, here you've got outside leg position. Here you've snuck to an inside leg position, but I can't really see everything well. I feel like you're putting yourself in a bit of danger here, because like Justin has an outside ashi on you right now, on your right leg. You're throwing enough offense at him that I guess it doesn't matter too much, but you know, somebody a bit more practiced in leg locks may be able to really counter you dangerously here. So nice little clover leaf. Okay, yeah, leg lace finish. Got beat on the sweep, so I went to attacking. I'm not upset about that. That's not bad. I just want, let's see, how can I think about this? So yeah, you didn't get that bear trap, so you can't really execute the leg entanglement the same way I'd like to see. Shrimping your butt away, that kind of like, I think that prevents him from getting mount. I think just in the fray here, like right there, what you did with that leg, that left leg of yours, that just kind of, it puts it into a bit of a sketchy position. Like Justin now has, I think anyone would agree, the superior leg entanglement here. You catch him on the counter, and that's good. I won't take that away from you. But I want you to navigate those transitions and those scrambles, and come out positionally superior, when you find it there. Justin, good job on you getting the positional superiority there. But yeah, Joe kind of spams you with some attacks here and is able to get you in a bad spot before you can effectively attack here. That was just such a frenetic exchange. You know what it is? Luke was coaching him as well. Oh yeah, I hate when that happens. So you're almost to your own, like you guys are almost in 50-50. That's what it is. That's why I'm having trouble thinking about this. So if this leg was across the body, you guys would be in 50-50 right now. So a little atypical. Like you don't come across this position too much where like one person is in, you've got an inside heel hook attack on him, possibly. There he gives you the opportunity to leg lace him. Yeah, this is just it's a atypical position. I'm having trouble thinking through it. 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. Regardless, all that was a good counterattack. I'm happy to see you come out with that counter. I actually went over after the round, I think. That's just one of those weird leg lock positions that you don't see enough. It's like there's like the 4 or 5 that are really, really typical, and then every once in a while you get those like mutual ashi where it's like 50-50 but outside ashi and all that stuff, and then all the backside variations. The crucial thing for all that though, like I think the biggest thing to remember, even if you find yourself in an unfamiliar ashi position, control, knee position relative to your knee line. Do you have their knee captured? Are you immobilizing them? Can you break them down to a hip? If it's backside, you can't, but there are other things you can do there. So like all the fundamental rules still apply. Oh, Justin, belly down. Not good. I don't know what that was. Okay, I guess just rear naked. Bin throwing up a triangle here. I don't think I've ever seen Bin do a triangle. Speaking of short, stubby limbs. He'll still pop your head off with those things, though. Yeah, it looks like he utilized a bit of a head pull on that one to finish it, which I will not throw any shade at. Gator roll to belly down starfish. Is that what that was a second ago? Danny's kind of in the way. I mean, you're basically on his back already. And here you just step around. I'm not criticizing Justin, but he's looking tired here. Just not moving too much. For you to step around him that easily and get to his back is definitely indicative of a last round, end of the day fatigue level. Bin's buddy trying to pull him down to the map, but it's really difficult. more belly down. I give him an excuse though. He's new. Danny probably watching, saying something sarcastic. All right, but we got Justin on top. Danny blocking the view. Bin showing some mercy. There we go. Cool. Good day. Glad you guys got out there to train yesterday. I would have liked to have been there, but I was out of town, could not make it back in time. Thank you so much for hanging out, especially on your Mother's Day evening. I hope you guys all treated the special lady in your lives, or if you're a special lady, I hope you got treated. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we will be moving on to back mount next week, so starting tomorrow, 2 weeks of back mount. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Please talk to me about everything I told you to talk to me about over the stream today. We'll go over it in class. I will be up there tomorrow, and yeah, I think I'm teaching at some point coming up soon, maybe 2 weeks from now. Regardless, let's see. We've got, again, June, Naga, I believe. If you guys want to compete, come talk to us. I think IBJJF in July, and then I'm going to watch ADCC in August. So anyway, yeah, let us know if you guys want to compete. Talk to any of your coaches. We'll be happy to help. And yeah, May 25th. Yeah, May 25th, we've got our Blue Coast Grappling. Mike and I will be doing commentary for. So hope you guys can tune in and watch that, or come out and support a local event. Should be a lot of fun. So follow us here if you're not. Subscribe if you can. Use your Twitch Prime. It'll help out the channel, help us keep doing what we're doing, and no cost to you to support us. So subscribe over at YouTube as well, where I will put this up for you guys to review. And I think that's it. I can leave it there today. Thanks again for tuning in. Go trim your nails, go do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And I'll see you guys back on the mats. Take it easy.